Well, welcome to the groundbreaking for construction of Phase 1 of the French Valley Parkway Interchange. I can't tell you how happy I am to say that. That has been a long time coming. There's a few people I want to acknowledge before I turn it over to Mayor Washington here. I want to recognize our project team for a quick moment. A couple of them have been working on the project for longer than they care to acknowledge. I've got both Amir Attar and Avlin Odviar from the City of Temecula Public Works Department that have been working on the project. Our Phase 1 designer, Moffett and Nickel, represented by Tom Poyer. Tom's in the audience. Thanks, Tom. And we've got our Phase 1 construction management consultant, Harrison Associates, have several representatives here. Harold Landis, our resident engineer, standing up in the back. And the newest member to the party, if you will, we've got our contractor, Flatiron Construction. Donnie Reese is in the audience. Donnie, looking forward to having you guys out here. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Washington. Chuck's got a few things that he'd like to say. Chuck.
Thank you, Greg. This is a great day here in the Twin Cities, Murrieta and Temecula. And you know what it symbolizes is what we can achieve when we work together. We've got local support, we've got regional support, we've even got federal support. We're going to move forward with this project, and it's going to improve the quality of life for many folks in the region, as well as be a great support for businesses and citizens. Before we get into the details of the project and turn over some dirt, I'd like to acknowledge some of the folks that have been a part of this effort and are here today. I'd like to begin with my friend and colleague, Mayor Pro Tem Mike Nagar, sitting over to the left. Also here today from the Temecula City Council, Councilmember Jeff Comachero and Councilmember Mary Ann Edwards. We're also very pleased, and Ron. I know Ron was here, and I knew that.
Hi, Ron.
Ron is our senior member on our council, and his expertise is transportation. Not only that, but he works for our county supervisor, Jeff Stone, has been very involved and pivotal in the success of the project, which leads me to the introduction of our county supervisor, Jeff Stone. Thank you for being here, Jeff. Jeff knows it would not be possible for this project to not have moved forward without the county's support. I'd also like to acknowledge, and as I mentioned earlier, the partnership with our Twin City Murrieta, who we sometimes refer to as Temecula Norte, but it's all in good fun. They refer to us as Baja Murrieta, so there you go. My friend and the guy who took my seat on the Murrieta City Council, Mayor Doug McAllister. We've got a couple of city managers here. Our city manager, Bob Johnson, and the Murrieta City Manager, Rick Dudley. I saw him here a moment ago. And our former city manager, Sean Nelson, from the city of Temecula, who's a Murrieta resident, so he benefits both ways. We've got some key personnel from our staffs. Pat Thomas from Public Works in Murrieta, and Greg Butler, you met him earlier. I saw Jeff Green walk in. Where's Jeff? Jeff's here from Assemblyman Kevin Jeffrey's office. And I want to mention Councilmember Randon Lane's name as well. Not only is he a member of the Murrieta City Council, but a former field rep for Kevin Jeffrey's office, who was very instrumental in moving the process forward through the Caltrans planning steps. I doubt that we would have gotten the level of support that we've gotten without Randon's participation. I know we have some other key regional partners. I didn't see you at first. Ann, hi, how are you? Director of RCTC, Riverside County Transportation Commission, Ann Meyer. And I was told that Saeed Reza Acting District Director from Caltrans District 8 is here. How many of you folks are planning to attend the WRCOG General Assembly meeting tonight? Okay. So you know where Rick Bishop and Ruth Ann Taylor are. They're working on that and probably getting grooving the rails for whatnot for Colin Powell. General Colin Powell is going to be the keynote speaker there tonight. But they have sent along their well wishes and congratulations on the groundbreaking. Today marks the culmination of many years of concerted effort put forth by a great number of individuals, and I want to acknowledge some of those additional individuals that Greg has not already mentioned, because if it weren't for their ongoing support for many years, this project might still be on the drawing board, so to speak. I talked about Sean Nelson, our former city manager. Sean was not only instrumental in this project, but instrumental in getting the TUMF program, Transportation Uniform Mitigation Fee, up and running. And without TUMF monies, this project would not be happening. TUMF has provided financial support not only for this project, but many projects throughout the region. And I think it's important that we understand its relationship to the success of each community. Also, our former Public Works Director, Bill Hughes, who's not here today. I heard that Bill will not wear anything other than shorts and flip-flops, and we told him he couldn't come to this very dignified event unless he dressed up and shaved. So he's not here, but we appreciate all of his previous work. It's his choice, that's right, Marianne. I would also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the assistance provided by Congressman Ice's office, and of course, our region now has two new congressional representatives, Duncan Hunter and Ken Calvert, and we expect an even higher level of support from them back in Washington, D.C. for the projects that we need for this region. But without that support, we would not have gotten Federal Highway Administration to go along with our project in a timely fashion, and so we want to acknowledge that assistance. And finally, I want to recognize the leadership and direction provided by Caltrans, former District 8 Director, Dr. Ray Wolf. Ray recognized the benefit of locally sponsored projects that address both freeway operational challenges and the need for additional freeway access points for local communities. His hands-on involvement kept this project on track while being processed at the Caltrans District Office. We look forward to continued support from Caltrans for this vital project. And I would be stepping on somebody else's toes and what they might have to say. So I'll stop there and bring up my friend and colleague, Mayor Pro Tem Mike Nagar.
Thank you, Chuck. Good morning, everybody. So I was just sitting here looking at the hills and the clouds. Just have a look at that. That's just a beautiful Temecula morning this morning. You'll find that nowhere, and Murrieta morning. Okay, you'll find that nowhere else in Southwest County. Is it morning in Murrieta? No, it's early afternoon. So there's time zones here. Okay, right. Okay. You know, you mentioned federal highways. The little known joke, you know, you have to get local federal highways approval here in California, and then it goes up to Washington. And after we got it here locally, it gets sent up to the head of federal highways up in Washington, and there it sat on the guy's desk. I mean, literally just sat, only needing his signature. Now, mind you, it's been through everybody's planning process. Everybody signed off on it. Just needs a technical signature, and it sat on his desk, I think, for 3, 4, 5 months. So finally, we had to call Darrell Issa and say, he was our congressman at the time, and say, Congressman Issa, could you just go take the document, knock on the guy's door, and say, could you sign this, please? And I don't know that he actually did it, but after asking Congressman Issa to do that, it finally got signed, and we were able to move the project forward. As my colleague, Mayor Washington, just mentioned, this project addresses a freeway operational issue. A freeway, not a local road. Here we have a local agency, a city just over 100,000 citizens, stepping up to take a lead role in addressing a problem that would normally be handled by the state. This segment of the freeway currently handles nearly 200,000 trips per day. Many of those trips are our residents commuting to and from work, traveling to points north and south for family functions, to shop or enjoy the many recreational opportunities here in the Temecula Valley and Murrieta. You know, Jeff, why are you laughing?
Looking at your face.
Okay, all right. All right. Why would the city take on this endeavor? Because we knew that in the realm of the entire state that there are projects like this just as important, competing for the limited resources that Caltrans has available. The city of Temecula took on this challenge of building a freeway because in our minds this is one of the most important projects, if not the most important project in Southwest Riverside County. Each and every day, motorists have to contend with freeway congestion as drivers try to make their way either on or off the freeway at Winchester Road. Northbound travelers must weave right and left as they head for the 15 or the 215. Southbound drivers watch out for the backup of cars trying to exit Winchester. This ever-present backup has resulted, get this, in nearly an accident a day for the past several years. And yes, over the course of past 5 or 6 years, we've had several deaths as well. This project has been a long time coming. I look forward to this first phase being completed as it will bring a relief and provide another choice for those southbound drivers where the backup is most significant, seeking to exit the freeway. I also trust that phase 2 will work its way through the design process and be out to construction bid in the not too distant future. Now I'm going to turn over the microphone to a former council member and mayor here in Temecula, someone who is Temecula's favorite son and who gets the job done on the county level, County Supervisor Jeff Stone.
Thank you, Mayor Mike. As I've said to all my colleagues, once you're a mayor, you're always a mayor. And it's a true honor and pleasure to be here today for this long overdue infrastructure amenity. And most of you know I don't really like reading prepared notes. I do have some prepared notes which I will read just to make sure I say everything that is supposed to be said, but I'll improvise by first saying that we really have the citizens of Riverside County to thank for us being here today. Because if they did not have the generosity of taxing themselves with our Measure A, our half-cent sales tax, and if our public officials countywide didn't have the courage many years ago to say that we need a funding source for regional infrastructure, and we're going to adopt something called the TUMP program, which was not politically popular at the time. But many of us that have been around for as long as I've been around, and many of you are sitting here today, took the bullet and did what was in the best interest of the citizens of this county. And as a result, I would say that I've been to more ribbon cuttings in the past year than I probably had the entire 20 years of being in public service. And we're delivering countywide over $1 billion of infrastructure. And it's nice to see that a lot of these contracts that have been in the planning arena for years and years, through architects, engineers, and then finally going out to bid, awarding contracts, at the worst time in our economic history since the Great Depression, we are letting these $1 billion worth of contracts out. The timing could not be more appropriate. The cooperation between the city of Temecula Norte and the city of Murrieta del Sol, Murrieta to the south, has never been finer. And I kind of consider myself Uncle Jeff to both cities because I'm a public official in both cities. And it's nice to say that we have a good familial relationship and that we really do work together for common causes. And today is probably one of the most important infrastructure amenities that could be of benefit to both cities, not from a frustration standpoint for many of our residents that often have to jump on the freeway to go from one city to the other. In other words, the freeway is being used as an arterial rather than a freeway. But as Mike Nagar mentioned, it's going to save lives. We've all seen the significant backup that can occur on the freeway. People wanting to exit on Winchester Road, people that want to exit on Murrieta Hot Springs Road, Howler Road. This amenity is going to reduce the tension, if you will, the congestion at some of these other off-ramps, and hopefully make it better and safer for all of our residents. So now to the prepared notes. Also, I want to mention one other thing, that while we have these voter-approved funding mechanisms in place, it also takes great leadership within these organizations to make sure that we spend the citizens' money wisely, we don't squander it. And I want to give tribute to Ann Mayer, who's here today, former Caltrans director, and she knows how much I respect her. And let me tell you, we are very lucky to have Ann as the head of our Transportation Commission. And I believe for that reason, we are the envy of other transportation commissions throughout the state, because I believe that we are the most successful transportation commission, not just because we have the most brilliant commissioners on RCTC, but because we have a fearless leader in Ann Mayer. And also, in Rick Bishop's absence, WRCOG, Rick has been a tremendous leader, helping us with the TUMP fees, and really supplanting what really should be the state of California's responsibility. We should not, as local officials, have to build freeways. That should be under the purview of the state of California. And I hear I'm not going to, romp on the state of California. We have some great leaders locally here that really fight to make sure that the taxes that we send there come back in the way of infrastructure. Kevin Jeffries has just done an outstanding job, and due to term limits, which I don't support, we'll lose wonderful officials like Kevin Jeffries. But we will take the bull by the horns, and we'll do what's necessary and make sure that the infrastructure is delivered. So, as Temecula Council Member, former Mayor Michael Nagar noted, the segment of the freeway is heavily used and is a vital link between Southwest Riverside County and San Diego, or better said, between San Diego and Riverside County. The project's regional significance is recognized, and that is one of the primary projects listed to receive funding from Measure A, the voter-approved half-cent sales tax initiative to fund transportation projects throughout the county, as I mentioned before. Moving forward with implementing this project will not only make destinations like Murrieta and Temecula safer, and the county of Riverside, an incorporated area like the One Country, but passage through this area with less congestion will provide safer transportation corridors serving the needs of businesses, which we're trying to attract. And I think this amenity will be an attraction to getting businesses, especially those the manufacturing elements that we are trying to acquire, that will have easy ingress and egress onto the 15 freeway. So today I'm here both as your county supervisor and as a commissioner on the Riverside County Transportation Commission. It's our commission that's responsible for coordinating highway and transit planning and identifying programming projects for state and federal funding. The French Valley Interchange has been included in the region's Transportation Improvement Plan, or TIP, for many years, and as the project has progressed from concept through the planning and environmental phase, through design, and finally here at construction phase, RCTC has worked with the city of Temecula to make sure that state and federal programs and their documents are in order to ensure that there are no administrative delays. I know I can speak for Ann and her staff when I say they've looked forward to this project for many, many years. And congratulations to Ann and all of our staff at RCTC that work tirelessly to deliver these projects that we need and look forward to cutting a ribbon on one day, hopefully in the near future. And of course, to the contractor with minimal cost overruns, I know that you're going to be here and you're going to do things efficiently and keep the taxpayers' money well spent. So at this time, I'd like to introduce another colleague, a nephew, Mayor Doug McAllister from the city of Murrieta.
Thanks, Uncle Jeff. Appreciate that. Okay, we had a lot of introductions this morning. If you did not get introduced, raise your hand. Seriously. Nelsie? Who else did not get introduced? I got to know. I really want to know how many people we did not introduce this morning. Okay, one. Really, that's pretty good. Out of all the folks that are here, only 3 folks did not get introduced. I'm impressed with all of this. I have a few prepared remarks here as well, and I'll probably diverge from them just a bit, but let me go ahead and dive into it. And as my counterparts have mentioned, this project does serve both a regional and local need, both cities in this place. Currently, Murrieta is working on our 5th or 6th interchange. We understand how interchanges impact regions. It's important to note that when an interchange is built in a specific area, it improves traffic for the entire region. That's what's so important about what we're here looking at today and what's about to start here. This project is one that's going to improve traffic for the entire region. Murrieta is one of those beneficiaries of this project, as well as being a partner. Many of the businesses here in South Murrieta, and when I mean South Murrieta, I mean actually South Murrieta this time. Many of those businesses access the freeway system via what we have in place today, and then only improving that is only going to improve their ability to do business in this region. This interchange provides greater flexibility for drivers wishing to travel all points north and south. And I will diverge from my talking points at this point to mention that it's something somewhat ominous that right here in this location, near what the existing interchange, is a funeral home. That's how important this really is what we're doing here today. Because of the accidents that happen and the lives are lost, folks, everyday lives are impacted forever by any tardiness in this project being started. So we're very thrilled to see it happening now. What I'm very proud of is that both the Murrieta Public Works staff and Temecula's project team work together to make this thing happen. They forged an excellent working relationship, coordinating the right-of-ways and everything else that had to happen, and sharing experiences with working with Caltrans as well, to make sure that what happened here today happens today. So what's going to happen in the future here, once this is done, is that I will no longer have to plan my trips to Temecula around my haircuts. Because typically what happened was by the time I left Murrieta and got on the off-ramp, I needed a haircut by the time we got off of the off-ramp. We don't have to do that anymore. I won't have to be continually looking in my rearview mirror to make sure I'm not going to get rear-ended anymore. We're not going to have to worry and hear those see those horrible headlines in the newspaper anymore. This is important. A few years ago, I believe you were mayor at the time, Jeff. We were in D.C. doing our thing. And it was at the end of a long day of doing that thing that we were sitting downstairs in the hotel and just talking. And if any of you know much about the history between Murrieta and Temecula, it has always been the best in many years past. And thank God that's improved over the years. And Jeff and I were talking about that. We started talking about what that can be characterized as. And we came up with this concept. We talked at that point, said, what, we're literally the twin cities of Southern California. And we thought, well, can we use that? I mean, somebody else is using that. Can we use that? And then we decided we didn't care, we're gonna. What today represents, and hear me on this, what today represents is just one good example of the fact that Twin Cities is not just a tagline. What Murrieta and Temecula can do together dwarfs anything we do apart. And what Murrieta and Temecula can do together for our combined citizenry dwarfs anything we can do separately. And as a result of this, interchange going in, Temecula taking the lead, all of our citizens are going to benefit. And I'm very, very proud of that. I'm very proud of the fact, I'm very proud of our staffs, I'm very proud of the councils working together, and I'm very, very appreciative of the fact that this is finally beginning to happen. We look forward to seeing both phases. And I can guarantee you from the standpoint of Murrieta, we will be very cooperative and working very hard with you to see to it that phase 2 happens. It's just as expeditious, well, I guess I should say historically, a more expeditious manner than phase 1 did as well. But we thank God that we're here today, and we look forward to seeing this thing get going. So with that, I'll pass it on.
right, thank you, gentlemen. I believe we've got some shovels and some soft dirt here that we'll be able to cast the shovels into and turn some dirt over for a photo opportunity. So if you could all join us over here.
Awesome.